shotgun start in golf is full of mathematics. There's a lot of setup work that we have to do in order to make a tournament work. So I'm going to demonstrate to you just exactly how we do a shotgun start here.
Here we go. Hey. All right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Greetings and welcome to a Monday edition of the Shotgun Start. It is March 30th. Andy, how we doing?
Brendan, I'm doing fantastic. It's a victory Monday in my household.
Yeah, multiple reasons. I mean, I think it's a victory Monday in every household in golf because of the Gary Woodland win, which we'll get to in a minute. You have the additional cherry on top, a significant cherry, the whole Sunday, the whole deal. The Fighting Illini of Illinois are going to the Final Four. Very exciting. Very excited.
It's great times. Boom times. First time in the Final Four since my freshman year of college. So
that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. Lots of chats about going. I don't think I'm gonna be able to pull it off. But as some of my friends pointed out, the next time they go, you might be a grandpa.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's the thing. Should we disclose our upcoming travel, like what you have on your docket, or should we talk about that for a second? You're obviously going to the Masters, Augusta National, next weekend. Following that, did I just lose you? I think he just unplugged. PJ, jump in here.
He just unplug.
He just unplugged.
Completely just unplugged. I can see it.
There was a moment of panic on his face as he did it, and then he went frozen. Okay. We're live on YouTube, which is great. I'll get to his upcoming travel schedule. We have a doozy. If he were to add the Final Four on the front end of that, it would be quite a month of April. All right, just some housekeeping. We did about 40 minutes on Tiger Woods getting arrested on suspicion of DUI on Saturday morning. So we did that Saturday with Kevin Van Valkenburg. That is in the feed. If I need to explain to you how to go find that, I can't help you. But just look ahead. That's in there. If you want to hear pure Tiger talk, I thought it was a pretty decent conversation with some smart fellas about Tiger and the state of Tiger Woods, not his golf game, and the coverage of him and what we should expect and demand of him, if anything, at all going forward. And this Monday morning live is going to be primarily, maybe a little bit of clean up on Tiger at the end, but primarily on the golf from the weekend. Houston Open, LPGA, DP World Tour. I got some nuggets on Hero. And Andy's back. What'd you do?
Well, the street sweeper went by, so I then closed the window that was open, and in the process, I hit my computer, which is like on a dock that has all the things plugged in, and the cords.
When you went frozen, you had sort of this moment, this like face of like panic. I do like something we had lost. Yeah. Illinois,
it's because I touched the computer, which I knew would be problematic. Probably.
Illinois is going to the Final Four. I think you got to go, but I mean you don't have to go. It's Saturday in Indianapolis. We're due to be at Augusta Sunday night. After that, after Augusta, we're going to Scotland.
The problem is if they win, then you're there Monday. You have to stay.
What do you do? Yeah, you got to stay for the national championship game. Then you're not.
Also, like the other issue, and this is a greater sports situation. Do you even want to go watch the game in a football stadium? Do I want to go watch Illinois play in Lucas Oil Field? The thing that I'm kicking myself about, I was looking at flights. I should have bit the bullet, gone down to Houston. It would have satiated my whole, situation.
For the Saturday game. Yeah.
That was the way to do it. You go down, you go to the regional final, you get the celebratory, and then you watch from the comforts of your own home. I have such little interest in watching a basketball game in a football arena with a quarter of your fans. Like, the other thing about it is everybody buys, the two game package, which is awesome, but the arena, it's like a corporate gathering.
Yeah, I've been to a Final Four. It's not super great. I don't know. It's one of those like Ryder Cup situations where like being there isn't all that great the way they've done it. Super Bowl. I mean, if your team's in it, you're living and dying with everything. I don't know. You've got, the good news is you face the plucky, sympathetic underdog and Dan Hurley again, your nemesis. Could we have, in a matter of like essentially 4 months, your football team beating your arch nemesis in the postseason, and your basketball team beating this guy you've just excoriated for like 4 or 5 years on this podcast now? I mean, seems like I don't want to say UConn is excellent, obviously a great program, but a decent draw if you're talking Final Four for Illinois. Like, I know they whipped you early in the season, but a decent draw. Everybody's gonna be good in the Final Four.
If you look at that first game of the season, Keaton Wagler played like 18 minutes because we didn't know he was,
there you go,
one of the 10 best players in college basketball. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to talk about. We got plenty of time to talk about it. But that being said, I texted my college friends chain about like 4 minutes into the Duke UConn game, and I said, I think we really want to play UConn.
Yeah, because
I didn't want to play Duke. They got so much talent. I don't know. I think any team you play at this point is going to be good, and so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited. I'm cautiously optimistic. We'll see. They've been really good. The Houston win at Houston was like
Thursday night.
Everybody's diminishing it now because it was they beat the crap out of them, but that was I think one of the wins of the tournament.
Yeah, absolutely, big win. All right, we'll follow up. We'll be talking about it probably consistently through the week as that comes Saturday night. Is it the first game?
First game.
6? Okay.
Yeah, I mean that Michigan Arizona game is gonna be
class.
Awesome.
My 6-year-old stands to make thousands of dollars in a pool if we get Michigan over UConn. She has all 4 Final Four teams. 6-year-old, thousands of dollars. So I'm not going to root. No. I don't think I can root against Illinois, but it would be funny.
The Porath household's going to be rooting against Illinois.
I don't know. It's Michigan over UConn is what she needs. But
Pete, did you just hear that as clearly as I did? The Porath household is rooting for Dan Hurley and UConn.
I didn't say that.
That is what I heard. That's what I took away from it, which is very disappointing. Not only rooting against you, but maybe rooting against me in a way.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. It felt like a shot against you too.
No, yeah. I'm just saying those are potential stakes. There'll still be food on the table, but that's out there for us this weekend.
Do you need me to send you some Illinois gear for the game on Saturday? I feel like you're gonna be back in the Illini maybe as hard as most Illinois fans.
Yeah. No, I'll hand up. I had a good old crash out last night after you game. That was I said a lot of things. I did a lot of yelling. That was just we're better than them. We literally killed them twice. I don't understand this. It's just the worst thing to ever happen. It's the worst.
It's the worst thing to ever.
This is my Colin Morikawa. It's the worst thing in the world. My back hurts.
Phrase. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Peach,
one of the best. Go ahead.
I welcome you onto the Balkan Express.
The Balkans. I am the biggest Stojakovic fan in the history of the world right now. This is it. I can't handle this. I cannot handle this. I'm not emotionally equipped to handle this.
Brush up on your Serbian. We're going to Indy.
We're going to Indy. I love it. All right, we'll talk more hoops. There's some recency bias. That Connecticut win was amazing. The people are saying it's better than Leitner, better. I don't know. It was incredible game to finish off the weekend. So, all right, one of the best. That may be one of the worst things in the world for PJ. One of the best things in the world, honest to God, best things in sports. Story of the year, maybe in sports. Certainly, probably in golf, unless something. I don't see it happening. But the story of the year in golf is Gary Woodland winning in dominant dominant fashion, the Houston Open, the scores. We'll talk about the golf, and the scores, new scoring record, all these things. He's playing great golf. He says, like, it didn't matter in the end, like what the margin was, but like the story of the year. Gary Woodland obviously had brain surgery, had a lesion pressing against his brain. He had, prior to that, the part of your brain that controls fear, anxiety. He was consumed by fear, and then they had an MRI. Lesion was on his brain, removed it. This has been documented in full swing. He's been fairly open and really courageous about it. Then a few weeks ago at the Players Championship, he talked about how he is suffering from PTSD from that trauma, from the brain surgery, from the lesion, and the impacts of it. This dramatically affects who he is, his ability to play golf, in the public sphere with people around him, and the way he suffers from PTSD and the way it impacts him. Been very tearful, emotional interview with Rex Hoggard, and here he is 3 weeks later playing some of the best golf of his life and winning by 5 shots the Houston Open, his 5th PGA Tour win. He obviously has that U.S. Open. It's his first victory since that 2019 U.S. Open at Pebble Beach. An incredible story to watch, to witness, to listen to him before and after and during this win. An incredible story for the PGA Tour. Really one for the record books.
It's with what's going on, the PTSD and just the anxiety. I mean, how challenging of a sport golf is, just at its core mentally. The idea of Gary just playing, I think, was amazing. And playing through the things that he was dealing with, to go out and just utterly dominate his tournament from start to finish,
wire to wire,
at age 42, when 41, when seemingly, your best golf was a decade ago. This is unbelievable story. You mix in the fact that he talked about during the tournament, he was dealing with like 10 holes were some of the hardest golf he's had to play. Tour security having to kind of beef up his presence just to keep I don't think Gary Woodland fans are yesterday was probably the high watermark for Gary Woodland fans in the general population of golf. But a Friday, it just kind of shows the extent of what he's dealing with when a Friday round is causing such, a lot of internal issues and mental issues with getting through the round. Amazing. And it just, overcoming adversity, the power of getting your kind of problems out in the public sphere and what that can do for you also is I think that's the biggest takeaway of this whole thing is just, it's never a bad idea to talk about what you're going through with people and let people understand what you're going through, because that's only going to help you with your struggles. It seems is my big takeaway from this.
It's sort of an invisible injury, right? It's hard. That's what I can't appreciate this fully, right? I can appreciate him and empathize and be understanding of whatever it is he's going through. But I cannot appreciate it. And we cannot, it's not visible. It's not hobbling up the fairway with the injured leg. It is something that, we did, quite frankly, a lot of people certainly didn't know that he was going through this until he disclosed it publicly with that interview with Rex Hoggard. And then you talked about the effect and power of getting that out in the public sphere, and hopefully sympathy, empathy are so easy to give. It doesn't cost you anything. It's become harder and harder in society, but it's so easy to be empathetic, right? It doesn't cost you anything to understand people's pain, to listen and try to understand it. That's just, I don't know how that's become more difficult in modern society. But that's the effect of speaking about it out loud. And he talked about how it's felt like 1,000 pounds off of his shoulders since he's gone out there and talked about it. And it's hard to know. And the effects, I can only hear. I can't appreciate it. I've had friends who've had, panic, anxiety disorder, stuff like that, but I can't appreciate that. And it sounds like, just people getting a little close to him, and not ill-intentioned or malintentioned, but he has this trauma and can send him into sort of a spiral, as how he described it. And even this week, but recently, since his surgery, kind of have to go into bathrooms in between holes and release this anxiety. And people, has this effect in the middle of a round, and you have crowds around you. And this week he talked about in the middle of a round, I think 10 holes to play, he had to go into scoring and bawl his eyes out. And that is hard to see. That's the only way it manifests. You cannot appreciate or understand maybe what he's going through in that moment. It sounds like tour security, his own security, have really stepped up to sort of understand the situation as best they can.
I mean, you think about also with the career he's had, what a competitor in terms of still going out and doing this despite going through this. It'd be so easy if you're Gary Woodland to pack it in and say, hey, this isn't worth it. I don't want to do this anymore. And I've had a great career and I have enough money, but to go through this week in, week out for so long, the competitive drive behind that, he talked about it a little bit in his post-round press conferences. He's a golfer, he's a competitor, and this is what he wants to do. And I think that's dealing with this and dealing with the anxiety. I could only imagine, but it would drive so many people to quit.
Right. I mean, golf is your interview with the Amazon director. I thought he had some interesting thoughts about golf is sort of this ultimate mental test. And I think it was you or him. It was the amount of time between shots, right? There's not the rhythms of basketball. You can affect yourself in basketball. You can miss free throws, but the rhythm, right? The rhythm of it's more mental than a lot of sports, right? Where it's quick twitch and it's reactionary. This is the time in between shots, the time of thinking, getting to a shot, over a putt. It is an incredibly mental game. Before you bring in any PTSD, before you are battling any disorder, before you are battling any trauma, and to think of what he has to talk about. I have to slow my heart rate down, slow my thoughts down. A lot of golfers just have to do that as a regular course of business. He has to do that, while dealing to combat and confront his PTSD, which is dramatically impacting him. And he's able to do it. He's He's talked about, this battle is this is a huge step today, but this isn't cure me. This isn't changing anything going forward. But I don't know. It was just a great sort of Sunday afternoon to celebrate. Friday was pretty. Friday, Saturday morning were pretty dour, and it was just a really, really great Sunday to celebrate him and his battle.
Yeah. It was, an amazing story. It's, I can't, as you said, I can't imagine how it feels. But I think it does show really the power of kind of letting people in on what you're doing, what you're going through. And it's kind of prescient with the other big story in golf this weekend is being honest with yourself and others about what you're going through and allowing people the opportunity to help, allowing the opportunity for the PGA Tour to beef up its security, for your peers to maybe, not subconsciously, but your peers to show you more support and what the support of others can help you accomplish. It's really hard. And I think golfers are really prideful people. And, it's an individual sport. It's really hard, I think, on tour to reach out or ask for help, or be open about what you're going through. And it's neat to see someone be so candid and honest. Just I think it was like 3 weeks ago when that Rex Hoggard interview dropped, and then see them winning a golf tournament 3 weeks later. It's unbelievable. He seems to be one of the best guys out there on tour. And I think I'm so happy this happened for him, and I hopefully we see a lot more of Gary competing at a high level.
Yeah, he seems to be universally beloved even before brain surgery, even before the disclosure that he's battling PTSD. He seemed to be pretty universally, which is hard on the tour. Like, it's hard to not rub somebody the wrong way, offend somebody, upset somebody, just even whether they're they take the appropriate view of you or not, or take the appropriate conclusions of you or not. But he seems to almost have everyone in his corner. I'll say the coolest moment for me watching it was when Minwoo take the stage, and he's firing up the crowd, and I thought that that was the first moment that really got me. It's you just don't see them. Bones came on, right after this. I've been on this tour 35 years. I've never seen that. That was super cool to me. All right, new scoring record. He leads the tour in driving distance. He's in the field at Augusta. He says probably top to bottom as good as I've played on tour. So someone who was a top 15 player in the world, major winner obviously. Complete control this week. He has Randy Smith back in his corner as his teacher. That whole story is a little interesting about how he left agencies. Then Randy, obviously his son is Blake Smith. Then Randy and he stopped working together as teacher and pupil or player. But it seems like he's playing pretty good golf, really good golf, obviously.
Did you see the ball speed numbers?
190s.
196 on Sunday.
Yeah.
Felt like anybody who was contending in this was 190 plus.
That's a separate discussion maybe about Memorial Park. But Woodland's always been a little bit of a different athlete. Obviously, he's always been a different cat off the tee. I even before speed training was in vogue, and optimization was in vogue.
Feels like he just took the genie out of the bottle. He's just I'm just gonna swing as hard as I can.
Yeah. He leads the tour in driving distance. He's not had a good year on approach and irons, but maybe he's switched shafts in his irons, working more with Randy. Who knows? He's a great player, tons of prodigious talent.
Yeah. I'm curious to see where it goes. I obviously the performance was exceptional. You look at the players around him, and everybody's in the there's a ton of players in the 12 to 16 under camp, and Woodland just, it was pretty much no doubt Sunday. There was very little to worry about unless you were a Duke fan.
Yeah, we've seen some big leads blowing between Shane Lowry, Berger, some of those recently. I was like, this can't happen. It was 4. Then they got the 7.
It got the 7.
I was
7
all right.
After 11, he was up 7.
Yeah, we're good.
This isn't going to happen.
This is
even
not
though Sudarshan was tracking them down. Our guy Yellow Marashu was
continues his
right
courting of Sydney Sweeney with posting low numbers. Woodland's 64. He's
a force. He's up on the leaderboards. He's showing out. He's saying, listen, I'm gonna be on TV every week, just like you.
Also earning their way into the Masters. This was the last top 50 OWGR week before the Masters. Earning their way in alongside Woodland gets in via the victory, winning a PGA Tour full points event. Joining him into the top 50 are Berger, Nikolai Højgaard, who had a pretty uneven day, or underwhelming day, I should say. Nikolai, Berger, Jake Knapp, nearly set the course record with 61, sort of hit the lip there but shot 62. Speaking of speed boys, Jake Knapp and Matt McCarty. So the Masters field is up to, I believe, 93. Tiger may WD, who knows, which would take, and Valero, you may get a new unique winner there who's not previously qualified. So we're in the low 90s for the Masters with those additions. 5 yesterday, including Woodland. Also notable, Johnny Kiefer, who's kind of been MIA, pretty high expectations, really good player on the Korn Ferry Tour last year, a young talent, great personality. He finishes T3, his best finish so far, but hasn't had a strong start to the year. Good finish for him. Any other notes from the Houston Open? The story was Woodland.
Are you anti Johnny Kiefer just because of his Ravens fandom?
No, not necessarily. No.
You hold it against him?
No. I mean, it's a black mark in his personality and moral centering, but my whole thing is, my problem, because they're all my neighbors, I live in Maryland, my problem is with the Ravens organization. They were not the people who are fans of it. They accepted the team, they accepted stolen goods. That is a problem, but they just accepted what was dropped in their lap. So no, I don't hold that against him.
Do you think they should all be Browns fans?
No, they don't have to.
It is great to see Johnny Kiefer get off the schneid. We've had so many instant successes on tour where they're just immediately good, that and like, listen, like, we're talking about 10 events or whatever Johnny Kiefer is in his PGA Tour career. This is a fast ascension. But I think, like, we glaze over how challenging it is to come up onto the PGA Tour, adjust to a new tour, adjust to new courses, and the way of life on the PGA Tour. But great finish by him, and I'm excited to see him in the hunt a lot more.
Yeah. That's it for the Houston Open. Amazing story.
Listen, we need more Baltimore Ravens representation at the Waste Management on 16. You know, they might be competing for a Super Bowl that time next year.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Questions? I don't know. We'll see. Playoff Lamar? I don't know. We'll see.
I love how you say I don't hold it against him, but then in the same sentence says mark against your personality.
Moral
centering.
I mean, we saw what happened with the whole NFL is out on them with the Crosby shenanigans. It's just it's an amoral, soulless, unscrupulous franchise.
They shouldn't have been allowed to set aside Trey Hendrickson.
No. God, it sounds like Myles Garrett might get traded to the Bears or somewhere else. They restructured his contract. That would be just
I don't think the Bears are making the move.
I don't think so either. Memorial Park.
Cooney doesn't make it. Obviously,
WDs.
a big story. Would have been the first grandchild of a Masters champion to play in the Masters. He had to WD because of a back injury, which is a bummer.
Yeah, that was a bummer. He's played pretty good golf for more than a year now, almost, and that's a bummer. Bad time to have a back issue.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
Are you excited to write the Sam Stevens capsule for the Masters for our website coverage?
No, if I have to be honest, but he's playing good golf. Seems like a good guy. Heard he's fun.
We need Sam Stevens facts.
From Kansas. I know he's from Kansas. Good player. Played well at LA. He's been decent. Been a good player on tour. I'll write that up. Sam Stevens. I got to do that today. All right. Is Memorial Park capable of hosting a PGA Tour event? I think they need to stay there. But, the overseed, it's a great experiment having it at a real, actual municipal. But you talked about all the speed demons on the leaderboard. Good variety.
You know what worked well? The Bermuda. Yeah. When it was Bermuda rough, there was penalty for not hitting the fairway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I look at scoring and the type of play that was rewarded in the fall versus now. It's a completely different golf course with the overseed. And I know people don't like talking about grass, Yeah, like it's the unsexy part, but like this absolutely shapes how the golf course is played. I mean, Brooks talked about it. He's like, I've never seen it in the overseed. It'll be interesting to see how it plays. Well, you know how it plays is everybody just swings as hard as they can because ryegrass is the bane of golf course existence. So the thing you should, anybody that their golf course ever talks about converting to rye, unless you're in an area where like you have to do it for like I need grass to grow, and this grows here. You should just condemn whoever suggests it.
Right.
And it is just a bad grass for golf. And what it does is it just diminishes skill. And I think like in terms of this golf course, the way it's set up, it is so advantageous to just take out driver and hit it as hard as you can. And when there's Bermuda rough, like Bermuda rough's hard. You don't know what it's going to do. You want to avoid it at all costs. All of a sudden the fairways feel narrower, even though they aren't. So anyways, I would just point out, for anybody that's condemning Memorial Park, look at how it played before they went to the ryegrass.
Yep. You mentioned Brooks Koepka, sort of a step back for him. PJ, what was the push notification you got? The breaking news. So he'd been playing well. Koepka, I don't think this changes a lot, but what was the push notification you got?
ESPN sent a push notification that Brooks Koepka, who was 6 over at the time with 2 holes to play, was in danger of missing the cut at 1 under on Friday afternoon. I think it was actually statistically impossible for him to make the cut at that point, but I'm glad we got a push notification about it.
Hey, little Sam Stevens facts.
Oh,
Please.
yes.
Did you know he's a 3rd generation golfer?
I think so.
Pro golfer.
Meg, fellow Kansas, may have mentioned that. Pro golfer?
His grandfather, Johnny Stevens, made
Okay.
30 PGA Tour starts in the 60s.
There we go. That's legit.
I'd like to see you get in there and poke holes in the 30 starts. Is that more like 10?
The-
If you
the
got in there
historical
with your,
archive?
with your
Yeah.
counting.
Raging against the history accounting of the PGA Tour. All right. Yeah.
And then his dad, Charlie, made 2 starts in 1992 on the Corn Ferry Tour. This is what Wikipedia says, but that probably was was that Nike? That was pre-Nike. That would have been pre-Nike
90s.
tour.
Yeah. I don't know.
Ben Hogan tour, maybe? Then?
Maybe. Not. Yeah. Hogan might be right. All
Also, July 4th, baby.
right. Oh, we call him Yank Stevens. There we go. All right. So congrats to Gary Woodland. That's it for. Another one like Marco Penge. We were puffing our chest. Penji,
How
what
about
a great pick. Someone said he MC'd. I was like, what? No, he didn't. He's top 5, top 10. I love
Yeah, disaster on Friday. This is the problem. We shouldn't have been touting our picks.
Yeah, we can't tout. We got to keep our heads down. Just stick to the fundamentals and the models and stop touting.
Listen, we talked about what the model was spitting out. We talked about Min Woo, back in a familiar kitchen. I feel like we were all over this. PJ had a T6 with Goddard. We were all over this. We just picked the wrong speed demon.
Wrong horse. Yeah. The wrong sprinter. All right.
Most gambling pods didn't talk about how speed was a prerequisite at Houston, but we did.
Yeah, that was it. That was a unique insight we had only here at the Shotgun Start. All right. Gary Woodland was hot with the putter. Incredible putting performance to capture his 5th PGA Tour win. If you want to improve your putting, I don't know if you can
you know who G-Dub's really good friends with?
Who?
Perfect practice ambassador Dustin Johnson.
No, that's right. Fellow basketball players.
They're like best friends.
Guys who can dunk a basketball. They found common ground on that. Yeah. Yeah,
so
they are.
Think, I bet DJ did.
Slipped them a perfect practice, Matt. That sounds like DJ, just out there proselytizing, handing out goodies, trying to help people.
Something to point out about G-Dub. I know this is an ad read. shame to all the people that skipped over this. G-Dub, like, legit is not very good at reading greens. But if you have the perfect practice putting mat and a good caddy who reads the greens for you, perfect practice putting mat, you could just master hitting putts down a line.
Yep.
Which I think is the best skill you could possibly have for putting, is like the confidence to hit a line. And that's what I love about this putting mat.
It's got the training lines. You can develop a straight back and straight through stroke. It's got the auto ball return, highest quality mat for realistic putting experience, crafted with unique crystal velvet material that ensures smooth and precise ball movement, simulating real greens. You can get it at perfectpractice.com. The code is fried egg for 20% off. That's a good chunk of change. Look, you're not going to go broke getting the perfect practice mat. It's a nice, easy training tool. It's, you can convenient to put away. Nothing that my wife will shout at me about for getting in the way. You can roll it up and get it out of the way quickly. Perfectpractice.com. The code is fried egg and 20% off with fried egg at perfectpractice.com. All right. Let's get off the Houston Open. A good PGA Tour story there with Woodland. Continuing on, the DLF, another good story, in my opinion. Alex Fitzpatrick with one of the rounds of the year, a 69 at DLF, which was punishing. High winds, extreme setup. From the owner, got some of his hooks into it. The owner who wanted an even par finish. Conspiracy theories that Alex Fitzpatrick, he made a 7 on the last hole to ensure that the winning score was not double digits, went down to 9 under. Really one of the rounds of the year, given the conditions.
Do you think the fix was in on the 18th hole?
Could have been, to get it under double digits. I was told the 18th pin was completely unnecessary, that you'd rather be like way long than short of the green. The way he navigated it to a 7 was perfect, and that's exactly what he had to do. So Fitzy wins a week after his brother wins at Valspar. Obviously, like a strong, good amateur career, highly touted amateur. Had a lot of exemptions early on. Is now going the path. Struggled to get all the way up and stick on the PGA Tour. Now going the way of the DP World Tour. Getting a win in really hard conditions, playing well, improved golf. Really good story. Congrats to Alex Fitz. He's, I don't want to say he's in the shadow of his brother, but he actually is. He is, and that's he's
definitely
great
in the shadow.
Yeah,
of his
he's
brother.
a great talent in his own right, but he's in the shadow of his brother, and that could be a tough spot to be.
Yeah, and completely different careers. Fitzy stayed in school. He stayed in school. He's a good role model.
Alex Fitzy stayed in school. Yes,
Alex Fitzy stayed in school. His brother, left after 6 weeks at Chicago's Big Ten team, who isn't in the Final Four. But like complete polar opposites. Like Matt Fitzpatrick, immediate success in pro golf. Like immediately was one of the 100 best players in the world. Alex Fitz has had to, work his way up, and it's great to see him get this win. Big question I had out of this weekend at DLF was, is Chikara the new battleship?
He loves it there. I mean, he just, I thought for sure he was going to win. I woke up and I watched the end. I was shocked he wasn't ahead by 4 or 5 shots. He's amazing.
The next question, are you ready to apologize and admit that the Bumblebee, Andy Sullivan, is a potential Ryder Cupper?
No, I'm not ready to apologize. No. We've got 18 months. I'm not ready to apologize based on the T3 finish at the Hero Indian Open. Not ready.
He's number 4 in the race to Dubai. He's been fantastic. If P. Reed wasn't there, everybody'd be talking about the Bumblebee.
Yes, that what they'd be talking about. I mean, what if we go to Luke Donald next year? I can't, sorry, we're out of John Rahms, but can I interest you in a Bumblebee? And that's what he's got to sub in for Adair Manor.
I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna corner him at Augusta next week. and I'm gonna demand answers about the Bumblebee.
Luke Tom. All right, there we go. You want a good unsubstantiated rumor about DLF?
I love one. Does it involve your boy Matteo Manacero finally getting into top 10?
No, but I mean that's just a proper skill set for a proper challenge. I had multiple people tell me like this is legitimately for young players like major championship mental grind. They said it was firm, little every hole. Fitzy was like, I honestly didn't know how many birdies I made both rounds. Like you just get off the course, you go to the next hole, you're like, I could make 7 here. You could have just made 5 birdies in a row. You could make 7. People said legit mental grind like a major. That not the course, not the atmosphere, but a mental grind like a major. Mentally, it's like a major. I'm bloody knackered was a text I got. But along the course setup, second source confirming the owner is just vehemently pushing for like an even par finish and can get his thumbs on the scale and tries to get his hands on the setup, push out the pins, grow up the rough, make it firm as possible, to the point where the DP World Tour might tinker with the weather report. The official, their weather report, here's what's expected, to suggest higher winds to keep the owner at bay. Like, look, we got 50, and the weather report did suggest extreme gusts. Look, we got 50-mile-an-hour gusts. We can't put the pins there. We can't do this. That there might be some fudging of the official tour weather report to keep the owner at bay from further, advocating and trying to get his hands on the setup. Just an incredible set of circumstances in India on the DP World Tour. I love
the tour needs DLF. To go to the we got to bring a signature event to DLF.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like an incredible mental grind. Let's do it. It's fun. Entertainment value is always there. There were conspiracies about Akshay taking a dive. Just gassing one by the hole, the MC at the last. Get out 2 rounds early. Friday night conspiracy.
Not a bad idea for Akshay.
He did, to his credit, stick around for like 9 hours, apparently sign autographs. But I mean, we had this setup with the owner looming. Only going to be 2 more days of just punching in the face, incredibly firm DLF. Conspiracy corner was that did he purposely take a dive to avoid 2 more rounds and get back to?
Can I ask you a question?
Stateside for the Masters. What?
Is there any sport that glorifies signing autographs more than golf?
It's a good question.
It's like
it's ridiculous.
It's literally like, hey, this guy destroyed a tee box sign, but he signed autographs for an hour after. I
mean, look,
this guy is a huge asshole, but did you see him signing autographs for kids?
They do. No sport glorifies it more. It's unbelievable. Like, credit to the players who do it. Like, okay, I applaud you for doing it, but I blame the social teams, the absolute, glazing rights holder broadcast, the nonstop glazing, and the social teams that great, Ricky seems like a nice, great fella, genuinely. But do we have to see the 250th video of him flipping a ball to a kid, just to continue to prop up the image? We got it. You're onto something there. I'm trying to think of other sports. Maybe tennis.
We got to bring in our former NFL executive PJ Clark into the podcast. What does an autograph signing look like in the NFL? How much autograph signing are players doing?
Basically just training camp. Like on a game day, you'll have a handful of guys in the tunnel, very, very few, not usually anybody relevant. If you want any starters, you got to go to training camp. And then you have to, as an executive, you have to kind of force guys into doing it for the most part. So It's not.
Do you think golf's autograph signing should be celebrated?
Yeah.
I do. I think golf is the most accessible sport by far to the relevant players. Absolutely, yes. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I would celebrate it. Sure.
One thing I'd be into is as like a piece of content, whether it's video or article. Maybe I shouldn't give this away. Is they could be anonymous player strategies for avoiding autographs.
Yeah. That's
so this is like me trying to avoid like the Girl Scout cookies table outside the coffee shop. Like I would just love to hear some strategies from the players. So like, oh, I know the ones like after the round, get me after the round. But like, what else to not come off as a huge? I would love some strategies for that.
I think probably a lot of them pull their phone out and act like they're on the phone walking past.
The phone is a classic. Oh, I gotta go do media. That's a big training camp one. Oh, you want like the quarterback or something? No, I gotta go do a radio hit. Sorry, like that's a big one.
I don't have a pen.
Yeah. I don't have a pen. Is always
well. That's easily fixable.
You can't do that because the kids are gonna have
all the
pens.
Piss ants have their Sharpies ready. Yeah. I love it. I love like strategies. What's the most extreme avoidance you've gone to for autographs?
Who's the autograph king? Bryson or Ricky?
A lot of people would say Phil sometimes too. Phil gets thrown in there. Not Tiger. I don't
Definitely
think.
not Tiger. Not Scotty.
A lot of demands of Scotty's time right now for autographs and otherwise.
Bryson takes it international. I don't know if Ricky's bringing it to the people as much as Bryson is.
I mean,
Ricky's been doing it since
fair.
Bryson was in diapers.
That is fair.
Bryson says it energizes him. It gives him like the motivation to go hit balls and stuff. Like, what was that quote in South Africa? All right, that's it. Akshay stuck around and signed, but MC'd, got back on the plane to the States. And the LPGA back to back for Hoo-Joo Kim, Nelly Korda. We're going back to back, two events in a row.
Duels.
Founders and the Ford Championship. She beats Nelly Korda. She's going to third in the world, 69 in the final round. Korda started 4 shots back, shot a 5 under 67, went eagle birdie to try and push her to the limit, but was too late there to catch Hoo-Joo Kim. She's the first multiple event winner on tour this year. Of course, you know that went all the way to the wire with 29 unique winners last year.
Hot start for the LPGA.
Nelly is in it. Nelly's in the battle here. I don't know if this is a Sunday rivalry. It is right now in March, but a good start, a good sort of consistency week to week. And Nelly seems to be playing really good golf, as is Hoo-Joo Kim. A fascinating career. Wins a major at in 14 as like an 18-year-old. Then she stacked won a ton on Korea, but stacked a good amount of LPGA wins with like these 4 and 5 year gaps of like kind of wandering, and now number 3 in the world again. Now in a very strong ascendant gap again, or ascendant trajectory again. So
it's like the perfect representation of golf. So it feels like you have it, then you lose it, and then it comes back.
She's 30, so still plenty of time, and already compiled a great career. They've got a major coming up in about 4 weeks, less than a month. So congrats to her at the Ford Championship. On the Korn Ferry Tour, we have one of our own, Montgomery County, Maryland. Denny McCarthy has company. Davis Lamb wins on the Korn Ferry Tour down there, the Club Car Championships. Yeah. Went to Notre Dame, won't hold that against him. But Davis Lamb wins on the Korn Ferry Tour. Emotional for him. That was on TV on Golf Channel. Great player. Went to Notre Dame. Talked about you think you can win, but you don't really know. I was confident. I knew I could hang. I knew I belonged, but like that doubt always exists. And sort of that's an incredible validating moment for him. Blades Brown was in it at the Club Car Savannah event. But Davis Lamb holds him off. Another one for the neighbors around here. Denny McCarthy has, I think he went to the same high school as Denny McCarthy, has company. So Davis Lamb, hopefully,
I just can't believe there was a Davis that went to high school in Maryland.
I mean, yeah, he's from the mean streets of Potomac. I think his mom is won congressional club championship. So yeah, Yeah,
We could ask him about Cabin John.
we could. You could. He would know. He would have Cabin John facts for you, I'm sure. So congrats. There's multiple. Is it Davis Chatfield, Davis Lamb? Were they both at Notre Dame together? Am I not mistaken?
Double Davis zone?
I think there was. I think they were together at Notre Dame. I could be wrong, but congrats to him for winning the Korn Ferry Tour. Hogue Classic.
Did you see Ishikawa finish T10?
Rio?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. God.
Also, Lanto.
Rio Ishikawa is that was our era. That was our time. You know, this
I
guy's
think Ishikawa and Manicero finished T10 this week.
What a throwback. Like 2012, 2011. I mean, God, you remember Ishikawa just kept getting special exemptions to the Masters because he was, the great hope from Japan as like a teenager. I guess it's good to see him on the leaderboard. At the Hogue Classic, Peach, what do you got for Champs Tour minutes? Stu Cink rumbling all over the field.
I mean, I think
California.
That's it. Is in light of recent events, it feels like the Ryder Cup captaincy might be truly a wide open door. Yeah. And I think we have the perfect guy. We have a proven winner to just walk right through it. I mean, he makes a 2 on the 18th hole for an albatross to give him the lead and never gave it up. That was the 18th hole of Saturday. Never gave it up. Held off Zach. Held off Big Earn T2 or Andy. He's coming for first time all year. But I mean, you're the PGA of America. You're looking around. You gotta just pick the guy right in front of you. Proven winner. We might have another Keegan situation at this point.
I say we go Zach.
For Adair Manor? Oh my God.
Bring him back. Give him another shot. Look what he's doing on the Champs Tour.
That'd be like rehiring Adam Gase or something. Like, what are we doing? Who are we?
Oh well, that has happened.
Nate Hackett. Why would we go down that road?
You got to give a guy a second chance sometimes.
Sure.
Somebody's got to hire Matt Nagy.
Sometimes you just don't. You don't have to give them a second chance either. I love that we go 3 major winners and Zach and Ernie and Stu, and then we just go to Charlie Wee at 4th. What a Champs Tour leaderboard that is.
Still stacking at Tilton.
Brian Gay,
Tilton, Charlie, and Brian Gay, the boo stopper. What an eclectic board.
When did Freddie Jacobson get up there?
A couple years ago. He was a factor in congressional last year, if I remember correctly.
The junk man, Freddie Jacobson. Love that.
Who's been more disappointing, Ben Crane or Soren Kjeldsen?
I don't know. I mean, Ben Crane, it's in there. Like he plays well in the first round every week, and then just falls apart. Like I'm not selling my Ben Crane stock. But Soren, I guess Soren was pretty disappointing. We thought Soren was going to burn the world down last year. Soren
won the 2016 Masters. If you go back and rewatch it, he won that tournament.
He did, but okay. I'll have to find that edition.
Should that be a 10-year retrospective? Are you going to write that? Why Soren won the 2016 Masters?
Everybody talks about, other guys, but Soren Kjeldsen actually won the 2016 Masters. You think he'd be available for interview for that story?
You could pitch it to him. I'm sure he's available. I don't know if he'd agree with you that he won it. Speaking of the Masters, let's go to news real quick. The new player facility debuted. Great unveiling. Catnip Carnival of the week. New pictures. The Pampered F's Pavilion for all the players. I would love to be critical and call them Pampered F's, but as a media member, hand up, going to the Masters. We are quite pampered ourselves, maybe even more pampered. So it's kind of hard for me to direct jabs, even in a sort of sarcastic way at the players. Doug Ferguson had an article, got a tour of it, it seems like. Amateurs have lockers next to Masters champions. I don't need to go into it. They've got massage tables and restaurants and weightlifting and incredible. There's a camera so you can watch them come out of the tunnel as they go to battle to play the Masters round. One thing I had, fortunately for Augusta, for the Masters, Fratelli's not in the field, because if he was, he would not be getting a rental house. He'd be asleep on those massage tables or in a corner of the player facility and just be living there, eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, working out. Maybe Fratelli, when he can get in the field, eventually will just take up full-time residence in the new player facility. A note in Ferguson's article, Doug's article, it isn't for everyone. And this is what I was most curious about. Only players and their immediate families. I don't know. That seems ambiguous enough. You could claim immediacy in different ways. Players, immediate families, coaches, caddies, trainers, and other members of the support team. I think that's a wide net, too wide for my liking. But no public, no press, and no agents, which is interesting. Is an agent a support team?
It's interesting that the net goes to support team, but not agents. I can't wait to hear the grief from the agents all week.
I love it. The range is just coaches and caddies, right? The agents are not allowed on the range like they are in many other majors and other. Interesting. That's all I care. I mean,
how about us getting shut out of there? Were you expected by that, or were you surprised by that?
No, I'm not surprised by that. I'm not. I mean, we could go in the old locker room to the left there, but no, I'm not surprised we're shut out by that. The guys just trying to find solace or eat, and get some media members scurrying through, getting a massage. There's a story of a
I've never thought once about going into the locker room at an event.
I went into the Masters locker room on a Sunday morning, just rummaging around for tidbits. But no, I don't. It's like you can get them elsewhere.
Doesn't seem like the spot to go.
Great story recently. A media member getting a player when he was on the massage table and couldn't go anywhere and getting questions, insight from him. So yeah, I don't think that's going to be happening at the Masters player facility or on the treatment table. So that's the news from the Master. Weather report looks good. We'll have more on ANWA coming on Wednesday. Weather looks good so far. A long ways to go.
Long ways to go.
A long ways to go, but looks not a lot of rains right now. Had other news. We could talk about it on Wednesday. Any Tiger follow-up? We had a whole podcast on that. The notable one, Ferguson, I think, had a Doug Associated Press reporter said he was days away from a Ryder Cup decision, which we'd heard like the end of March was a deadline. Is that really a deadline? You know, he can kind of say yes or no. Should it be his decision to make anymore? Separate question now. I don't know that it should be. So
kind of to the point of our pod a little bit. I think it's kind of time for golf to stop enabling him. It's like, what you tell me? Do you want this state of Tiger as your Ryder Cup captain? I think that's not really what you would want. So, would I like a 100% there sharp Tiger Woods as an eventual Ryder Cup captain? Absolutely. But I think it's time where, if you're the PGA of America, you don't want,
it's not good for him. It's not good for you. It's just like you're putting him in a public sphere where there's there could be further embarrassment and issues. And it's seems like a separate and very different from Gary, disease and problem that he's battling that, you so eloquently put on our Saturday podcast, they have to want to help themselves. That is a huge thing. And so, I think thrusting him into the captaincy would be just disastrous for all the reasons,
Yeah. And this is where golf needs to help Tiger a little bit.
Yeah.
This shouldn't even be an available option. I don't want to be, but given where he's at, this shouldn't be even available to him. And the PGA Tour, and we haven't heard really from them regarding the situation, but he should not be reshaping the PGA Tour.
Haven't heard from anyone.
All of these things should not be happening. It's hard to speak declaratively like this, but like, if this happened in corporate America with an executive, they would be gone. And like, it would be saying like, even if it was a leave of absence to work, like there would be stuff that to come back. Like Tiger Woods should not be shaping in the current state of where Tiger Woods is mentally, physically, should not be shaping the PGA Tour's future or an instrumental part of shaping the PGA Tour's future. And all the mumbo jumbo about hundreds of hours of this and that. It's time for golf to remove all the responsibilities that they have thrust on him. And I want to be clear, like a lot of this is golf's fault. They've thrust on him so he has the peace, the quiet, and the time to work on himself if he would like to work on himself. Now, that's the big thing. Until he realizes there's a problem or admits that there's a problem, none of this is going to happen. But if golf just keeps acting like nothing happened and this isn't a problem, then it's less and less likely that Tiger will ever admit that it's a problem.
Yeah. I thought we saw some signs of golf kind of suggesting that maybe it's not a problem. I thought like the broadcast wasn't great on Saturday, saying thankfully nobody was hurt and we can move on and get him some help. I don't know. There needs to be a mix of critique and you know, the tour would lose a lot of credibility if they, in my opinion. I don't know if like you consider the tour to have a lot of credibility to begin with, but maybe you do. They're a professional organization. If they came out and did the same sort of party line of like how instrumental he is, we kind of knew that was the way we communicate to you here is fully understanding like where Tiger's at and what his maybe actual contributions and presence are on that. But, you know, and we're not going to portray it in any way other than how we understand it. But yeah, the tour would lose some credibility if they just go right back to it. And I don't think they will. I don't think they can. If he was having that big of an impact to begin with, debatable, but certainly should not have the opportunity at this point. He can be a conduit to the players if there's still that reverence and respect and they would listen to him. But yeah, he can't be in that position of prominence. And that same probably goes for the Ryder Cup. All right. Brandel suggests he needs to give it up and go away to get right. No Champions Tour. I think there's something that's shading that way. And other than that, maybe some legal exposure too. Reading over the weekend for Tiger. We had about 40 minutes on that, talking about all manner of like the danger he's putting other people in, not just himself. You can listen to that podcast. It went up Saturday morning on the Shotgun Start feed. But this was a nice reprieve from that with Gary Woodland winning at the Houston Open. We will be back with you on Wednesday. Talk a little ANWA, Valero Texas Open, Lamagna's favorite event of the year, better than the Masters, maybe if you asked him. A full week ahead. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.